The type Zhongzheng rifle, also known as the Chiang Kai-shek/Zhongjiashi rifle, Generalissimo rifle, and Type 24, after the Chinese Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek, was a Chinese-made copy of the German Mauser M1924, the forerunner of the Carabiner 98K. Pre-production of the Chiang Kai-shek rifle started in August 1935, year 24 of the Republican calendar, hence the Type 24. It was later renamed the Type Zhongzheng and was in full-scale production as early as late 1935. It was designated the Type 79 by the Chinese Communists and would often have the ideograph of Chiang defaced by them. Although the Hanyang 88 rifle was produced in greater numbers than the Type Zhongzheng, the full standardization of the Type Zhongzheng rifle only started during the Second Sino-Japanese War. In a 10-year period, over 500,000 weapons were produced. The weapon's last major war, the First Indochina War, 1946–54. Service history. The weapon served as one of the main battle rifles for the Chinese National Revolutionary Army, NRA, or Nationalists. Like the Carabiner 98K, it was a shortened and lightened version of the Gyur 98, specifically, a copy of the Oberndorf export Mauser named Standard Modell of 1933, which was sold to China in some quantities and provided to Jiang's best troops before the Germans provided the tooling to make the Type 24 in China. The quality of the weapon varied from arsenal to arsenal, but all German-made standard models of 1933 or 1934 pattern were first-rate except for some 98K Mauser's factory rejects which China bought after the Wehrmacht refused them. Some Chinese-made Type 24s were of excellent quality while others were crudely made. Although it entered service in 1935, China's limited industrial capacity meant that it was built in relatively low numbers. As the war progressed, however, China's industry in western cities like Chongqing and Kunming allowed more and more of these rifles to be produced. Production was largely unaffected during the bombing of Chongqing because many of the machines had been moved underground. Roughly speaking, during the war, the rifle was only used by the non-German trained units of the Central Chinese military, which was the core of the NRA. The German trained units used a very similar weapon, the Mauser Model 98K carbine. By the 1950s, the Type Zhongzheng rifle was phased out in favor of superior American-aid equipment, such as the semi-automatic M1 Garand, M1 carbine, and Thompson submachine gun for the Nationalists. The Type Zhongzheng rifle, along with the American M1 Garand, is still used by the ROC Army as a ceremonial/parade rifle to this very day. The major advantage of the Type Zhongzheng over the Arisaka was that it had better stopping power with the use of 8mm Mauser rounds. The rifle also had a better rate of fire and a greater range than the Arisaka. The weapon was shorter, similar in length to the Carabiner 98K, when compared with the Gyur 98 and the Arisaka Type 38. A total of between 500,000 and 600,000 weapons were produced between 1935 and 1945. The rifle saw its last war in the hands of the Viet Minh against French forces during the First Indochina War. Together with the Mauser C96 handgun and the M35 helmet, these weapons have become recognizable features of the Generalissimo's National Revolutionary Army and the Chinese Army during China's turbulent early 20th century. In an ironic twist, the rifle, although named after Chiang Kai-shek and used by his nationalists, was also used by the Communists during the Chinese Civil War. Chinese Sergeant Tung Chi-ye claimed to have shot and killed over 100 Imperial Japanese Army (IJA) soldiers using a Chiang Kai-shek rifle with and without a scope in the Yangtze area. The rifle can have a HY-1935 bayonet attached, replacing the Daidao, a Chinese single-edged curved sword. Some divisions and guerrilla militias who did not receive any modern weapons continued using the Daidao for close combat. The Chinese People's Militia and smaller local paramilitaries were using Chiang Kai-shek rifles, as well as Aris AKAs and Mosin Nagants, up until 1980 before it became a supplemental ceremonial weapon. The main ceremonial rifle is the SKS, for the People's Liberation Army to the present day. Many of these rifles, along with other PLA and People's Militia small arms, were used by various Red Guard factions during the Cultural Revolution in the mid to late 1960s. Variants. There are two variants of Chiang Kai shek rifle. The Type 1 has a longer barrel and foregrip. The Type 2 has a shorter barrel and foregrip with a turned-down bolt handle. Type bolt-action rifle. Place of origin Republic of China, 1912–49. Service history. In service 1935–1980s. Used by National Revolutionary Army, Viet Minh, Chinese Red Army, various Chinese warlords. Wars: Second Sino-Japanese War, First Indochina War, Chinese Civil War, Korean War. Production history. Designed 1935. Manufacturer Kongxian, Hanyang, Jinling, and Canton Arsenals. Produced 1935–1950. No built 500,000–600,000. Variants: Chiang Kai shek rifle Type 1, Chiang Kai shek rifle Type 2. Specifications. Weight 4.08 kilograms, 9.0 pounds. Length 1110 mm, 44 in. Barrel length 600 mm, 24 in. Cartridge 8x57 mm is. Action: bolt action. Rate of fire 15 rounds per minute. Muzzle velocity 810 m/s, 2657 feet/s. Effective firing range 500 m, 550 yd. Feed system 5-round stripper clip, internal magazine.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.